A certain man came to Jesus and he asked him, how shall I get into the kingdom of heaven? And they put that line, beautiful line. Jesus looked at him and loved him. Then he asked him, have you finished this? Have you finished your Montessori school? He said, yes. And Jesus said, very good. And anybody remembers what he said after that? Yeah.
Give up all that you have and follow me.
And follow me. This is what you're called to do. He told her, he didn't say, okay, now you're a good guy, remain at that level. No. He says, now it's over. Now you have to do two things. One, to drop all that you're clinging to. Without anything, come forward. This is the part of the journey. So during the whole course of the spirituality, don't ask me whether you're breaking the 10 Commandments or not. It's finished. So if you want to go back to the 10 Commandments, or you still you're clinging to that, like, you go to the first grade and you learn A, B, C, D, and then you learn 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Then you come to a higher grade and then you learn 0.26 multiplied by 0.35 but so that you need as a foundation, but then you don't need it anymore because you can just do it without writing, etc. We are in that. So in another way of looking at that is also to say, what there is one great writer, Thomas Merton, and another great chap. They have written a book called The Seven-Story Mountain, and even Teresa of Avila has written the seven steps or something like that. She has written. I can't get the word. So these people are now going from one step to the other, and the problem is when you're climbing a ladder, you have to go fully to the next step. You cannot keep one leg down. No, let it be there, and you'll not move at all. You'll get frustrated. You might fall down and break your head. So when you leave it, lift your leg and go confidently to the second. So that's what I want to tell you to do. The 10 Commandments. You started your life good up to now. Now what next? So, give up everything. So it is because you have tasted what it means to live with the 10 Commandments. You are asking now, what next? And God has listened to your call, and therefore this lessons that I'm giving you, there are two or three cautions. Don't discuss this lesson with others, because you cannot discuss the college level education with a Montessori child. They will get it all wrong. Not that they are, but because they are at that level, and we are now going above that level, and so there'll always be a discrepancy. About a month back, the gospel was on beloved, you're children of God, in John something, and we say that prayer every week for the advanced course. Beloved, you're children of God. You do not know what you are, but this is what you are. In John 4, we say that, and that came there. So I told them, I said, see, this is what Saint John is saying, not me. You are a child of God, and nowhere is it written you are a child of God if you do that, and if you do not do that. Not say. So you're a child of God. So there is no if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is no checklist. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, I'm a child of God. I have not done this, so therefore I'm not a child of God. No. Beloved, you're children of God. You're children of God. You're children of God now. And while I was telling that, somebody came and had a huge argument. I kept silent during the whole time because Montessori level again. So he's saying, if we are children of God, how do we sin? If we are children of God, then either God has given us free will or He has not given us free will. So it kept on going, and then He's telling at the end of it, Father, don't preach all these things. You're taking us all the wrong way. So that's why. So don't. But if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer it till the cows come home. Second thing, I'm not forcing my teachings down your throat. So if you feel that it is like out of the way, if you feel it doesn't synchronize with what you have learned so far, and you feel, oh my God, this priest is a crazy guy, then you can say, okay, Father, thank you very much. I'm leaving and I'm going. Or you can ask questions, because there may be others who have the same questions but don't want to ask because they are embarrassed. So these two things. Don't. So starting with this class, because this is working, I will send you if you want, I'll send you the link so you can go home and see the talk again. Those who are absent can also get it. I'll give them the link. So, we are now in the process of awakening. The process of awakening begins with awareness. Awareness of what? And for a long time, we will get into this process of being aware, and till finally you say, and now I get it. You not get it so easily, because we are habituated. We are boiled inside this way of thinking for last 50 years. Our parents have done it. Our grandparents have done it. So in our mind, this is the perfect and the right way to do it, and I don't need to change. This is all about nothing to change. This is all about becoming aware of what is happening inside your being. Our lives so far, now this is a huge change. Our lives so far have been led by the senses. Eyes. What does the eyes tell you? What is outside? Hands. What do the hands touch? It touches what is outside. What does the tongue feel? It feels what is outside. All our senses tell us about outsiders. After taking all this which is outside us, then the mind plays with it and say it is good, it is bad. The mind starts having a judgment, having an opinion, having a perception, and having a condemnation. That's the job of the mind. Your body is innocent. It just sees what is outside and says, this is a man. But the mind says, no, he's a bad man. So we are going to inside and touch our mind as the gears turn round. Oh, my mind is thinking that. Oh, my mind is thinking that. Okay, my mind. So awareness is not changing your mind. Please, don't change your mind. Don't change your mind. Just be aware of how it is working. Nowhere does in the spiritual life, even the Buddha and this and that, great spiritual, they never told you to change your mind. All they tell you is be aware, be aware, be aware. So we are going to learn how to be more and more aware, and in this way we'll be more and more awake. When you're asleep, you're not aware. When you're asleep. So now, by getting into touch with how your mind is working, you're in the process of getting awake. Because your mind was asleep. Everything was asleep and everything was on autopilot. Now you're saying, no, the mind will not judge for me. And if there's a mind judging going on, you'll tell yourself, oh, my dear mind is judging. I will not allow it. Or if you want to allow it, you can say, my dear mind is judging. I will allow it. But you're playing the cards, not the other way around. This is a dramatic change from outside to inside. It is a dramatic change for you to understand that the outside has no meaning. The outside has no meaning. Why? Because it has no meaning till you give it a meaning. As long as you don't give it a meaning, it has no meaning. So why give a headache to yourself and start giving a meaning to everything? Because everyone, or all 10 of you will look at this, so it's a neutral thing. So what you can tell your mind is saying, I see a black drinking cup. That is what the mind, what your eyes are seeing. The eyes is innocent. I see a black drinking cup. So the mind says, this big guy keeps sending a cup here. Can't he keep it aside? So then it starts. And as it starts, then you tell yourself, oh, my dear mind has started playing its shenanigans. Let's see what it's doing. And watch the mind doing it from remotely. And let the mind do what it wants. Say, this is what the mind is doing. This is what my mind is doing. And watch it as it does. Because now you're awake and watching it. You're not a victim of the mind who does that and says, boom, now you respond to that. You are saying, I'm the boss and I'm allowing my mind, I'm allowing my dog to bark, but I can stop it when I want. That is awareness. The dog is under your leash. The dog is under your control, not the other way around. The dog doesn't tell you to bark. You tell the dog to bark. So, in this awareness, as you get into this, it's a beautiful thing where you don't need anything, you don't need any tuition, you don't need any tools, you don't need anything. What is there to just, even when you're walking and you tell yourself, now I'm going to catch my thought, whatever thought comes, I'm going to be aware of that. Then you go there, I don't know why these two papers, okay, I thought about why these two papers are here. That's a thought, I want to just stop it, or I want to pay no attention to it, okay? Let me see what's the next thought. The next one, okay, I got so few students there, why can't more people come in time? Okay, that's another thought. It has nothing to do with me. It is not good, no bad. And so life goes on and you watch it. And there you grow in a sense of awakening. This fellow is going to sleep. As you do this, something will happen in your life by which all things that are external lose meaning for you. Can anybody guess why? All external things gradually lose meaning for you. Why? Because you have changed your focus inside. Because all these years your focus was outside, so external things had meaning. This got a meaning, that got a meaning, that got a meaning, that got a meaning. But now you're taking out the light from the chair and putting it here. So when you put it here, you're aware of what is going on here, and the chair disappears. The more and more you become aware or become in tune with your mind and heart, the more things fall off. Because you are moving from the outside to the inside. And what is spirituality? It's only that, moving from the outside to the inside. Besides this, not only outside things, even the outside, let me see, reactions to things pass away. Pass away. When I started the spiritual life myself, about 12 to 15 years ago, uh, I was a very passionate guy. I wanted things to be done, and if the things were not done, I used to get angry, etc., etc. One fine day, without me even making an attempt at that, my desire to do that, so now and then it comes up. Uh, yeah, but I'm aware of it. Then I allow it or I don't allow it. So as this falls off, I asked myself, as I'm asking today, when was it I was last angry? I forgot. I don't know when I was angry the last time. And I did it, and it happened. It happened. I did not tell myself I have the willpower. I'll get up in the morning and say 20 times, I'll not be angry today. I'll not be angry today. I'll not be angry today. And you'll end up getting angry with yourself. So, this spirituality that we are talking about allows life to gently take away everything from you and fill you with that which you really need. Our inside is full of junk. And as the junk goes out, it makes space for the reality that is there waiting to get more space in your life. So even relationships, you will say, oh my gosh, I can never get on without my mom. I can never get on without my husband. I can never, never, never. And with this spirituality, not that you'll hate them, you'll begin to feel the freedom of independence, the freedom of having a great, great, great relationship with yourself, that if others are there or others are not there, it doesn't matter. Because you're not here to be loved by others. You're here to find the love in yourself and be filled with that love. And then throw it out to others. If they want, let them take it. They don't want, forget about it. So that's the whole thing that we are going to do. And till now, let me see. I have no personal friends. I have no personal family members. Not because I don't want them, they just fell away. But at the same time, I have the whole of Croton and Hudson who says, hi, Father. So on the one hand, Jesus says, you give up father, mother, brother, sister, and you will get much more father, mother, brother, sisters that I will give it to you. So the relationships also go away. And this process is called dissolution. So another word that I don't use or try to use as little as possible is the word sacrifice. I don't sacrifice. Spirituality has nothing to do with sacrifice. Really. Because sacrifice means pain. Sacrifice means giving up. Spirituality means receiving and receiving and receiving. And everything that you receive, you then interpret that as coming from the heart of infinite love of God to you. So there's no sacrifice in that. So there is, yes?
Sorry, finish what you were saying. I just had a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said something similar 2 weeks ago. I wasn't here last week, but 2 weeks ago you were talking about like a relationship with your brother and how it faded away and it was like a burden that was lifted. And that like resonated with me. But isn't there also like a benefit in relationships that they help you grow? So like if you don't keep those
But you don't
connections,
you
like
don't
how?
keep the relationship in order to grow. Now the relation is a different thing. Now the relationship takes a different mode where there is no, what I call it, codependency. I love you, you love me. If you don't love me, you're out. There is a codependency on many levels. So if I depend on you, so and then so when we meet on the road, you always smile, you always smile, you always smile, and I smile back. One day you forget to smile, and I get mad. Oh, she found another priest.
Never.
Can you see how foolish it sounds? So, therefore, we have to move out from this codependency relationships. Codependency. So, the codependencies mean I'm independent and I'm free. And I can make friendship with you or I can marry you, but I still remain independent and free. So, if you want to go, it doesn't matter because I'm full and complete by myself. So there are two or three things. Nobody is sent into this world, first of all, to love you. Nobody, nobody, nobody. Second thing is, you are sent into this world to love everyone. Whether they love you in return or not, it doesn't matter. Why? Because you're full of the love of God. It's like a tree full of fruits, and then it drops the fruit. Anyone wants to eat it, good. If it falls on somebody's head, okay, no big problem. And if nobody eats it, no problem. The squirrel will come and eat it. So your love should be like that. It comes from your fullness. When love doesn't come from his fullness, then there's another word for that. When love doesn't come from his fullness, it becomes sacrifice. Then you say, when you were young, how much I sacrificed for you. So you want to put a burden of guilt on him and tell him he has to repay back. I sacrificed for him. What's the use now? Nothing. I'm getting nothing back. Not even all I'm getting is negativity and negativity. And how much I sacrifice. Yeah. You sacrificing in order to get something. That's so love does not sacrifice. Love gives because it is fulfilled. Out of its fulfillment, it gives. Just like the stream gives water, the trees give their fruits. Everybody gives from their vine. Nobody wants anything in return, except we nuts.
So would it be fair to say that, like you advised 2 weeks ago, to remove luck from our vocabulary?
Yes.
Remove sacrifice from our
Yes,
vocabulary?
yes. I was at the VA, and so we are about four ministers, two Protestant ministers, one Jew rabbi, and our supervisor is another Protestant guy. So he was telling me, saying, "Can you come tomorrow for 3 hours or something like that?" So I said, "No, I cannot come." "Father, why don't you make some sacrifice?" I said, "Stop. I've stopped making sacrifice for the last 20 years. I don't sacrifice." "But you're a priest." I said, "No, I'm not a priest." "Who told you?" "I'm not a priest." So he says, "So you don't want to sacrifice?" "No, I don't want. I hate that word." Then I had to sit down with him for 15 minutes and show him how sacrifice has no meaning for me. What I do for others, if it doesn't come from my fullness, it gives pain to both. But if it comes from my fullness, it gives happiness to both. Why should one party be sad or be unhappy by doing an act of love? An act of love should not give me an unhappiness or make me sad or make me suffering. No. An act of love should always fulfill me and fulfill the other. Then it becomes pure love. Why so many marriages end in pain? Because it's not an act of love. So I I I want you to love me. It should be just the other way. I will love you no matter what. No matter what, I will love you. But then, no, I want to get something from you. And so I'm going to sacrifice myself for you. And so that sacrifice becomes a guilt feeling on the opposite partner. Whole time he or she will be saying, my gosh, she's sacrificing for me. I hope she stops sacrificing. And you see that? But if it's done out of love, you'll never use that word, I sacrificed my life for you. Never use it. It is very cruel to use the word, I sacrifice something for you. Because at that moment, you're putting a rope of guilt around him and making it tighter and tighter. Every time you say, I sacrifice for you. So many parents tell their children that. I sacrificed for you. I watched your this. I did this.
It feels like that though sometimes.
Yes,
right?
but if you tell them, then they get a guilt feeling. Yeah, but you have to tell them later on. You know, I said that I sacrificed for you, but in reality, I did it because of my extreme love for you. But then I had a little pain because you did this or you did that. So then that becomes a loving transaction. It should not end in the child or your husband or your friend having a guilty feeling. To tell anyone, if I go and I tell Lee, you have been to my classes for 3 years, how much I sacrificed for you, and Lee will say, forget about it, I'm going home. Why? Because now I'm putting guilt on her for no reason at all. I enjoyed the classes. I enjoyed you coming here. I enjoyed giving this class. So you are full of happiness and I'm full of happiness. We are both fulfilled. End of story. Yeah. So.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Because I've met quite a few Catholics who have the tendency to tell how God made things happen in their lives. Also down to very small things, such as the bus passed and then we met by coincidence 30 years later, and putting all that meaning into what is happening. And what would your response be to that in the light of what you just said, that the way we look at the outside world?
Yeah. So they had so suppose we have Joan. This is Joan. Okay. Joan has what does she have? A thought. Correct? A thought or a desire or a need or a want. So this thought goes in her mind. And to this thought, she is giving it permission to be. Just as I said, you can give a thought a permission to be, or you can tell the thought, you are in control. So now this person is fast asleep, but still she's giving that thought a permission to be. So now, all our thoughts, once we give them permission to be, they go around the universe. And they come back with whatever the universe wants to give to you in return for your prayer. But the thought began inside. So we are going to have this lesson again in the pebbles that we throw into the pool of our consciousness. So there is a lesson on that. So we have our consciousness is a huge pool, and throughout the day and night we are throwing pebbles into it, and those pebbles go and make ripples, go to the end of the shore, and they come back with the result. So even those thoughts that we have, we have to be very careful of what those thoughts are, because they have the power to bring back reality into your being. Answered your question?
I think so.
Somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay. Because it'll come in that lesson, yeah.
It just remind me of like my sister was telling me that like you are like the light of the world is that the light is within you. It's like giving it out. The light is that what you're talking about? Like whatever you got, the love that you had is like your light that it's within you. It's inside
inside
you,
you.
and you're walking, and then it's giving those light
It's
out to
giving
the people. You're
vibrations out.
giving it to the people, and it's up to them whether they're gonna accept that or not.
Yeah.
Because that's the way how she explained it
Yeah.
to me. She passed away already long time ago, but
She's gone
that's
into the
the-
light.
yeah, that's the way she.
By the way, good you spoke about the light. On Saturday, I'm having a PowerPoint presentation, and the name of that presentation is "You Belong to the Light." So you're free to come. It's at 7 o'clock, and it will be down in PMR 345. It will be on the big screen or something like that. So 7 o'clock Saturday, PowerPoint presentation, which is called "You Belong to the Light." We will see. It's about 1 hour, same like the class. So, now, as we were talking of thoughts, we are now going to speak about experiences. Experiences. Our life is full of experiences. And so the thought is connecting with your question. The thought that we have when we talk about experiences. So you can have a thought, but it is good for you to ask for an experience. What's the meaning of that? So you have a thought, and the thought is, I want to go closer to God. So you have the thought, I want to go closer to God. I want to go closer to God. I want to go. You can keep on having that thought till the cows come home. But rather, if your prayer is, I want to experience the presence of God in my life. I want to experience. What's the difference? One is going to the hotel and reading the menu. The other one is tasting the menu or eating the menu. The experience is going, seeing the menu and saying, I want this, and then you eat it. So ask for that experience of God. Ask for an experience of love. Ask for an experience. So get closer to experiences than living in the thoughts. To live in the thoughts, therefore, you have to, all you have to do is allow experiences to happen. Allow the experience to happen. Don't run away from any experience. Don't run away. But rather ask yourself, I'm having this experience. For example, you go to the hotel and you order chicken parmesan. Then you taste it. Then you say, I don't like it. No big deal. Next time, don't go to the hotel or order something else. But you had an experience of it. And because of your experience, you came to know the truth about it. Experience brings you the truth. And to get experiences and the true experiences of everything, you have to Empty yourselves of all preconceived ideas. Otherwise, you can never get an experience. You get an experience on which your ideas are already like a sauce on top. So don't put your sauce on top of your experiences, but rather get the bare experience that is giving to you. With this experience that you get, you will begin to allow love to flow freely. Because you're now not stuck to all this thing, you're stuck to experiences. Experiences never tell you lies. So just take that experience. Don't allow your mind to interpret it. Don't allow your mind to interpret. Don't allow your mind to give it a meaning. So, coming therefore to where we started, are you therefore at this moment going to begin, at least in a small way, to live inside more and more than outside? Are you going to react to the outside, or are you going to stop reacting to the outside?
It's a tall order.
Huh?
That's a tall
Yeah,
order. Oh my
but,
gosh.
but what I'm saying, don't do it, but give yourself permission and say, this is the way I want to go. The journey is 100 miles long. Let's begin with 1 mile today. So that's some of my students that will go in that direction. Father, I'm still making baby steps. Okay, that's the step. You want to make baby steps. But you have to say, I'm out of the Montessori. Now I'm going to strengthen my muscles and see if I can run the marathon. But I begin to run the marathon by stepping one step at a time. Okay, so do that. There's nothing, don't push yourself. Because if you're pushing yourself, you know what you're doing? You're listening to your ego. So don't listen to your ego. Don't listen to your mind. Just give yourself permission. This is what I want to do. God will take your intention and open doors for you. And every day remember that intention. My intention is this for today. My intention is this for today. And that intention will, as I said, go to the universe and come back and make it true in its own time, in its own speed, and at its own space. There must come a time in your life when you come to believe that everything is in you, nothing outside. That's again another tall order to come to that everything is in me and there is nothing outside me. Nothing is outside me. So why? Because you are the one who is judging. You are the one who is giving meaning. So whatever meaning you give is in you. You stop giving meaning to everything. Everything becomes meaningless. Imagine living in a world in which you have given it no meaning at all. Otherwise, if you give meaning, then you have, okay, she's terrible. That man is a sex maniac. This one, she's a Democrat. That one is an independent. That one is a Christian. That one is a Jew, I feel. And that one is a Buddhist. And that one is an atheist. And that one is a LGBTQ. Where do we go? And so all these things, what you're doing is you're putting a label of your own. But and your mind puts the label. By just having that thought, your mind at once puts a label. Not good, bad. Catch the mind doing that. So live in a world inside you where you don't have any willingness to add your own stamp on anything. No adding your own stamp. What makes you good, bad, right or wrong is you're adding the stamp. Your thoughts are neither good nor bad, nor right nor wrong. But the moment you put your stamp, then it becomes good or bad, right or wrong. And who made it good or bad, right or wrong? You. So who are you to make things good or bad, right or wrong? Thank Jesus for telling us that God never judges us. Because in God's eyes, there's no right, wrong, good or bad. In God's eyes, there is only His child. End of story. There's only His baby. There's only His child. There is only His image everywhere. If you will learn this, first of all, because your arguments, your desire to have arguments with anyone will fail. Not will fail, you will not feel like arguing with anyone. Why? Who argues?
People who think they're right.
Yeah. And people who think they are right, what are they doing? They are defending the fact that they think they are right. So they are defending. So everyone, where is that thing I wrote? Everybody is defending what they think because they are in the right. So defending. So what are they defending? Their opinions, their judgments, their condemnations, and their perceptions. And if you don't have judgments, perceptions, opinions, or condemnations, there's nothing to defend, no arguments for the rest of your life.
Father, when you say have no opinions, it almost sounds like we get rid of who we are, because our opinions are who we are, right?
That's the whole thing. So you have to get rid of who you are, because who you are is your ego. So either you choose to say, this is who I am, and this is my ego part of my life, or you say, I'm a child of God, exactly as my Father created me, and therefore, if He has no opinions about anyone except one, this is my child in whom I'm well pleased, and another opinion says, this is my son in whom I'm well pleased. Never said, he's a terrible guy, he's wearing a black cap, something wrong with his head. So he doesn't say all that. He just says, he's my child, she's my daughter, she's my daughter. And so nothing to defend. And as life goes on, as days goes on, you'll find yourself defending yourself less and less, because why? You begin to see the other person as deeply in need. And then compassion begins to grow in you for that person who wants to argue. There was a time when anybody came to argue, you felt like punching them in the nose. Now you withdraw and say, this person is suffering a lot. This person wants to argue because they have something to defend. And the person who has nothing to defend actually is the strongest person in the world. Imagine having a whole life to defend, every half an hour to defend something because somebody has said something, somebody has looked at you the wrong way, somebody has done something, and you keep on defending. You end up in a psychological ward. Anybody wants to go there? So, where are we? Only everything is only the unchangeable is true. Only the unchangeable is true. And what is the unchangeable?
You're a child of God.
Yeah, that is the so now you are going, as I said, transiting from awareness, from sleep. You're transiting now from leaving the ego into child of God. and this is the lesson that you learned today. And this is what we are going to do more and more, deeper and deeper as the days go on. So here you come. The love of God reaches out to every human being, regardless of what they do or what they are experiencing. But Jesus said, I will be with you till the end of days. I'll never leave you. Till the end of your life, I'm with you. So get into that. That for me, as you shift from the outside to the inside, you come to know that this is the kingdom you have to cancel and enter into the kingdom that is within you. The kingdom of God is within you. So therefore, if the kingdom of God is within you, get this right. Everything is within you. You will find everything there. Everything. You will find peace there. You will find tranquility there. You will find serenity there. You will find abundance there. You will find love there. You will find joy there. It is, you don't have to search for these things. You only, as I said, make space and they will flow from you. So, getting into this, therefore, our journey is from outside to inside, from ego to the child of God, from things to non-things, from time to eternity, from space to infinity. See, all this given to you free of cost. Just, allow things to happen to you. When you do this and begin to jump from here to there, maybe for some of you or most of you, you will experience you loving yourself as you never loved before. Why? Because now you're feeding yourself with true divinity. You're feeding yourself with true love. You're feeding yourself not with desires, ambitions, possessions, things. You're not doing. You're out from that. So you have done your 10 commandments. It's over. And now you're like the young man. Jesus is saying, drop everything. And I said, allow things. And as time goes on, more and more things will pass away. And without you feeling that you have sacrificed anything. With this, the lesson is over. Any more questions?